Side note, coincidence on this. Just found out that Mike Pollock is in the Tome video game. Oh, fuck! Now, what you don't know is he got bored from the Twitter takeover. On a side note, this is the voice we got for him, so I'm just going to have a quick listen to this, because at least I know what I'm looking forward to.
Thank you kindly. I have one last thing to share with you all. A gift. Nothing fancy, but it's the least I can do for your valiant efforts to not only myself, but this entire city.
Interesting. And apparently he's playing XX, so he's playing one of the leaders. Typical. So I'll look forward to that when I get in that game. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I said it before and I will say it again. The song is now done. It's time for some fun. I just realized I didn't go on pre-stream this whole time. Whoops. Well, that proves I'm tired. Anyway, let's get this over with. So, what is up, guys? This is Brownie of the Joy Charge Gamers, charging your joy with tonight's episode of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles 2 Resolve. Last time, we managed to finish off the first part of the trial for part 1, and we ended up with a bit of ourselves with a situation. Now we need to figure out whether this whole malark was indeed a true murder act, but now it appears we have to try to find this other culprit that's involved. Well, let's have some fun! And at some point I might have to bust out Digimon World again, I think. Maybe that would be one I could do as a live stream. Live one of those, get people in the chat. Maybe that might be a nice idea. What do you guys think? If we do Digimon World, do the same thing like what we did with, the Mystery Dungeon events. But anyway, let's find out what's going on. First off, let's go find out for the forensic team and see if Strongheart's got anything to say about this. What exactly is the forensic investigation team that you mentioned before? The British Empire's police force must become the most exemplary in the world. Oh, right, I forgot that was releasing today. I forgot about that. I've never really cared for Deltarune or Undertale and stuff like that, so by all means, go ahead and have fun. That's why I have Tome as my recollection, and this. A year ago, now, unofficially of course, to pave the... A year ago? At next month's Symponism, I intend to present the results of their work to the world. Once I do that, the House of Lords will be powerless to oppose the creation of a full-scale forensics division. Once that happens, the position of Attorney General will be mine, and criminals will suffer dearly. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I appreciate what Undertale is and Toby Fox's work and stuff like that. I am not disputing that. I just have a very bad tendency with butterfly effect games. when they tell you to do something, and then you have the option of doing it either way. I prefer if you have a bad ending or a good ending at the game, it's like a choice at the end or something else in the middle, but not an entire playthrough. That's why games like, that's sort of like the Telltale games of like, I think Last of Us, the Minecraft story mode, Tales of the Borderlands. Even though I like those series a little bit, I'm not the biggest fan of butterfly effect games because it makes me feel bad when people judge me for my choice. Yes, I know that's the world in a nutshell, but it's like, let me give a prime example. I played, yeah, let me rephrase that. I'm trying to remember what was the prime example. So, I played one of the, bloody hell. Oh, I forgot my whole point of it. Damn it, I completely forgot from my head. Either way. The short version is that one of the video games I did play, the others judged me for it based on my synopsis on picking something. And all of my friends at the time actually ridiculed me for my choice. They actually... I can't remember the game, because I think I blocked it out of my memory. But my head still remembers the words just like, "What the hell were you doing? It was the much better choice if you went that way. You would have got the accessory. You obviously don't care." It's like, no, I didn't care. I just chose a different route. Also, I have a can of lemonade. I had KFC. Pardon me. Mockery of our legal system with false evidence of bribes. But London scum is about to be rounded up and burned in the fires of hell. Oh my god! By creating the finest police force the world has ever known to protect our honor and our future. Look at those eyes. He means every word. Dr. Seif is an extremely reliable coroner. Eventually established the forensic division of Scotland Yard. She will run it as my right-hand woman. Now then, speaking of the supponism, Miss Mikataba... Oh! Hello! Your father should be on the high seas as we speak, making his way here to represent the Empire of Japan. Oh yeah, I'm aware on the choices. I'm aware. Let's see, what do you say here on that? Though I would argue that Undertale handles it better than a Telltale is, it outlines what the line you cross is, and the option to cross it or not is always there. Deltarune, on the other hand, actually doesn't have much of a butterfly effect. No, it's perfectly fine. I mean, let's put it this way. I'm fine with those types of games. There are people who would love to have those games and have a discussion. Like, for example, Until Dawn. I remember seeing a synopsis where, two of the characters were in a wooden shed. One of them was about to be hacked by an axe. Another one was about to be killed by a saw blade, I think it was. And unfortunately, there was enough time to basically only save one of them. You couldn't save both of them unless you did something specific earlier on in the game. So if you didn't do that one thing, then you were stuck there. And if you did nothing, they both were dead. And the whole game would ridicule it for saying, you can't make a choice to choose between people. Are you heartless, or do you just not care about any of us? It's like, don't look at me. I'm stuck in a situation choosing between people's lives. Yes, it's a video game, but if a game is invested, you are going to get gripped. Hey, Del. Just talking about Deltarune's Chapter 2 coming out today. Are you acquainted on Strong Hat? Rubber, I mean. It was many years ago now, but yes, I remember Dr. Mikatoba well. Better have a reason for that one. If my memory serves, it was some 15 years ago now that your father came to Britain as a visiting student. It was the year I was born, so yes, 16 years ago, in fact. Mikotaba was a young practitioner of forensic science, and Jigoku accompanied as a young promising judge. Hey, the judge! The punctiliousness and politeness of the Japanese at the time impressed us greatly. Not that I wish to imply impoliteness or carelessness on your part in any way. I didn't think that you were. Dr. Mikatoba studied forensics at one of London's large hospitals. St. Sinners, if I'm not mistaken. Dr. Steve was also there, as it happens. Ah, coincidence. Zero Escape Trilogy was supposed to go through all different paths and endings. Yeah, I've heard a lot about the Zeros. I think there's also one that I think had a similar aspect. I think it was seven days, 7 rooms, 7 people? Something like that? I know it was a DS game. Like, I know that the way it worked was you were given a number, and the killer who was manipulating this game had it that people could only go through the numbers if the numbers made... oh, that's the Zero Escape Trilogy. Okay, so I was right. Ah, okay. 777 was the first. Got it. Thank you. Thank you, I appreciate that. I don't know. Maybe I'll try one of those types of games for a long time. I mean, I don't know. Butterfly effect games are a thing that I get why people like them. I just don't like being judged. And I think doing it as a live stream is worse for me because, you know, it's there publicly. Like, people will see my choice, and I'll either get people supporting me or I'll get people dislodging it by every way, saying, for fuck's sake, man, I thought you were doing the right thing. Why'd you kill this character? She's obviously the key to the whole thing. It's like, don't shoot me. I'm still learning shit. 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. God, that game was a mind screw. Oh, shit. Wait, they did a 999? Shit. I lived with my grandmother in those years. So he left his newly born daughter behind and went overseas for 6 whole years? It was a rather turbulent time at home. Oh. Perhaps his father wanted a reason to get away. Oh! Oh, 999. So it was that one. My apologies. Yeah. Wait, something was going wrong at home. So Dr. Mikatoba came over for 6 years for study? I was about to say, the usual length of time for abroad study is somewhere between 2 to 4 years, depending on what you're doing. Heard that his older brother was killed some years ago. Mass murderer known as the Professor, who targeted nobles and royalty. Not trying to turn this into a discussion stream. Say Undertale's my favorite indie game, and yeah, I get what you're saying. Some would argue that choices like add replayability and secrets. That being said, the game and viewers shouldn't ridicule the player. Choice on player knows is a bad choice. Just want to see. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, take a look when we did the other stream the other day. Remember when we had the choice between choosing when it came to the whole point, like, do we choose to protect the machine and bash him as a murderer, or do we dislodge it so he has a chance to go free? That's a choice that's kind of horrible to make, because you know it's a promise compared to the truth, and, you know, stuff like that. You Japanese are a thorough lot. You've done your research well. Yes. And you could say it was that very incident that gave rise to the Reaper. What? Why? When his brother, Clint Van Sykes, was murdered, it was just after young Barrack had graduated from the University of London. He was prosecutor. Yeah, that's why I was fine with it. That's why I like these games, because they make you feel like you have to learn. Those games, you make a choice and you have it. It's quickly spread throughout the capital. Londoners started to say that whenever Barrack Van Sykes went, the ghost of his dead brother wasn't far behind. Lovely. Huh, how long before his brother appears as a yokai? since that time, he became a very aloof figure in London's legal circles. Interesting. Lord Strongheart, go ahead. It's about Professor Harebrain's experimental machine. We'd like your permission to examine the remains if possible. Strongheart? Are you well versed in science then? Not in the slightest. In fact, you could say I was barely aware of the subject at all until recently. Well, the special dispensation legally preventing investigation of the machine is currently being annulled. Within a few hours, Dr. C's team of forensic experts will begin their own investigation. Oh, I know. I like voice acting. It's what I do. I've done a lot of it over the years. On my own personal project. Till then, there's no harm in you looking at the wreckage, as long as you touch nothing. Thank you. Okay, good. That's at least a good sign. Thanks, Strongheart. Your time is up. You'll have to excuse me now, I'm afraid. My next engagement calls. I like him. Somewhat. My lord, I have important matters to attend to in preparation for the symbolism, you understand? That's his goodbye? You understand? Well, we got the permission. Oh shit, there's a lot of stuff here. Alright, let's go to the prison. Might as well go for that. Oh my lord! Oh no, he's cracked. He's become Gerald Robotnik. What's he doing? He's... Oh my! The whole world of cells covered in mathematical equations. And he's still writing more now. Professor, sorry to interrupt. Good stop. Oh, Mr. Naruhodo. And who is this young lady? It's Jim Carrey. Sasato Mikitoba, I'm Mr. Judicial Assistant. It's a pleasure to meet you, Professor. Oh, if only I'd met a refined young woman like you sooner! None of this would have happened. No, that's not logical. That makes no sense at all. Oh dear, I'm sorry if my presence here upsets you. Oh no, Sasato! You an apology too, Professor. I didn't manage to deliver what I promised you I would in the court this morning. Oh, no. The whole miserable affair. It all happened because I've been such a complete and utter clot. Professor Harebrain. Are any of them... Wait, are any of those equations actually right? I'm trying to look. There's a couple of them that look almost right. The only one that's almost... that I can definitely tell is pretty much right is the F with the MA right there. That's force equals mass, but it's supposed to be mass times acceleration. But you kind of both the things together to kind of count for multiplication, so that's kind of right. But that's more that's mathematics. Oh, you mean that? Oh dear, how embarrassing. I was suddenly struck by an idea, you see. I simply had to write it down. Nerd! Maths was my best subject at school, okay? I knew my multiplication, I knew my addition, I knew my parameters of equilateral triangles. I knew the shit! Yes, I even know algebra! Oh, sorry. Online terminology. Algebra! Is it some new hypothesis? Something to about super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, maybe? Pythagoras and Socantor I can see on the wall. Yep. No, actually, this is my... What? Mathematics is a biography? How I was diddled and fiddled by a brain. Thought I could represent my odd fortunes with only odd numbers in an ambitious set of simultaneous equations! Yeah, that's essentially all it is. I'm going to have to pay back all the loans I took for the kinesis machine, you see. So it's going to be new ceremony to the next one, part 1, an odd birth and odd upbringing. You can't beat the man's optimism, that's for sure. Well, for now, would you mind if we talked a little more about the case? Oh yes, yes, of course. I've been working through the numbers. I was fiddled by the pair of them. By Aspen and that aloof engineer, Draper. We're not gonna have to sit through an explanation of all these equations, are we? Alright. What we got, Professor? Not a trading card, that's a magazine, apparently. My research, Mr. Asman's the kinesis machine. My hypothesis even. I'm sorry it's come to this. There was really no other way. No, it's not your fault. I wanted to protect my work, but in the end, there was nothing worth protecting. And also, no need to worry about the voice acting thing. Voice acting is a weird thing. It depends on how you record it. For me, I just have myself and this trusty thing. He plans to win all his money back by playing Yu-Gi-Oh, does he? He's understanding the exact he's understanding the exact numbers of every monster in existence that will battle King of Yami Makai. 2030 attack points. Oh no, 1530 was one of his assistants. Yamikai had 2000 attack, I believe, if I remember. Yeah, I know, I'm a Yugi nerd, so what? Oh, of course it did. But in court this morning, I realized something. Oh? If you've done something wrong without knowing it, you've not done anything wrong at all. Oh, I thought I had to present evidence there. Bastion it! Yeah, he's writing equations on the walls. That area is for spell cards. That area is for traps. And that's... well, you get the idea. So how long before he starts painting on the ceiling going, "Hey everybody, I'm Michelangelo"? Can I agree that that was one of the best episodes of GX? Just because it was them having fun. That was what you kind of want. It's not like a serious world definition exploration, but it's more just kids not caring on their rank, not caring on their skills, but just having fun. Helping each other. Relaxing even. Because relax! By the way, hey guys, look, I'm Gregson! Oh! Not about Gregson, actually, although my poor little 7-Up can. No, my baby. Yes, chilling out in the schoolyard. And yes, you could say that they would not be Oreo calculus. Morning, you know what Barak did. He believed in my hypothesis. Well, I think that was just a necessary factor in this case. No, Barak wasn't doing something like that. So he genuinely believed it, did he? That's a good question. I understand now. Why it was that he decided to take on the prosecution in my trial, I mean. That's a good question. Why? After the terrible accident, no one would believe in my hypothesis anymore. Not even the police, not the prosecution service, not any lawyers even. I feel like I dealt some kind of a finishing blow there. Ooh. So if any other prosecutor had taken the case, if it was any other than the Barak, so the prosecution would have declared my hypothesis a complete and utter nonsense. I kind of feel sorry for him. Fraud yourself, Professor. Exactly. Which would have been a fate worse than death for me. But Barak insisted that I was a proper man of science from start to finish. You think that's why he... I know him very well indeed. He's an extremely kind-hearted soul. Can you at least tell me if my voice works for Hairbrain, or what would you guys imagine? Do you prefer something higher, deeper, nerdier? You know, something like those lines? I bet he was a murderer, didn't he? Well, admittedly, that part of the analysis appears to have some flaws in it. What about the whole Reaper side of things? How does that fit in with the kind-hearted soul? Asmund, do you think he set out to trick me from the very start? I'm sorry to say, that does seem likely, yes. When I first met him, he introduced himself as a wealthy financier. He looked over the paper I'd written and said my work would benefit all of humanity and must be pursued. He was so enthused, he was empathetic. Emphatic, but in reality he was the mastermind of some vast criminal network, it seems. I still can't believe it. As the machine was essentially a set decoration for some stage magic. Oh yeah, he was given the voice there, but I never a slightly thicker, nerdier German accent. But the scale of it wasn't just some small trick. Very elaborate feat of deception. All young scientists are full of hope about their burgeoning ideas, full of zeal. But none of us have any money. We want to do research, but we can't afford it. Many of us take on barely legal part-time work to try and earn such a few measly pennies to carry on. To go through all of that only to be taken for a complete fool. It's too hard to believe. It is, I agree. That's why I have to find those responsible and bring them to justice. Mr. Asmund is no more, of course, which leaves only the engineer. Mr. Enoch Drebber. Let's find our little fucker. Alright, Drebber, where are you? Is he an engineer, or a magician, or a swindler? It was about a year ago when Mr. Asmund first brought Drebber to meet me in my laboratory. Since then, I've met him many times to discuss details about the kinesis machine. And at no point did you have any inkling that he was just an inkling! Nintendo! Oh, he definitely wasn't just an illusionist. What do you mean? He was a wealth of deep scientific knowledge. There's no question that the man's a genuine scientist. It instantly apparent in conversation. So he's definitely somebody smart. Okay, well that's a good sign. Do we have any info at all on him? Nope! Of course we don't. Not even a And deceit you, Professor. It's unforgivable. We must do everything we can to find him and bring him to justice. Are there no more clues you can give us to his whereabouts? I'm sorry. We only ever discussed the kinesis machine, nothing else. Although, just once, I did visit his workshop! What workshop? Drebber's enormous fabrication laboratory where he constructed my great machine. That counts as a clue. Why didn't you mention this before? Enoch Drebber's workshop. There's every chance we might find him there. Alright. Give us that info. You've been to Drebber's place of work then? Yes, just once, you understand. It was an enormous place. Plenty of room to construct the kinesis machine, you see. Where can we find it? We have to go there at once. There's a good chance we'll find Drebber there. Well, yes. Definitely. I'm sure. As in, I'm sure you're not going to want to... Oh, no. I have absolutely no idea. What? What? I was more than half expecting that. You'll see, I was blindfolded in the carriage then. Oh, of course. He wasn't taking any chances then. Incredible. The pinnacle of modern engineering. Even the oil he used was the very best, a special French machine oil that's impossible to obtain in Britain. The indescribable scent of auto-imported oil. Perfumers across the world should forget their secret formula and use that instead. What do you think, Mr. Sano? Ew, the machine for your next birthday. I've never used any kind of perfume, Mr. Naruhodo, and I'm not sure I'd like to start with that. You know even part of the workshop's address, Professor? You don't have a business card from Drebber, for example? It's clearly very cautious, Mr. Workshop. What?! A business card?! Enoch Drebber, engineer. I'm afraid that's all it says. There's no address. No. Oh well, I can't say I'm surprised. Yeah, I'd rather not think about it. Well, we got his business card. That at least is something. Let's have a look at it. Oh! Smudge! You know, that sounds about right. He said it was specially imported, very high quality oils and possible to obtain in Britain. That's right, but more importantly, that it's more fragrant than the finest perfume, so excuse me a moment. He sent it all. Don't worry. I expect that's just because there's such a tiny amount on here. That machine oil's important. But what's that? A letterbox and a plus sign? Let's try this. Nope. No, it's nothing to do with the hypothesis, actually. Take it away, I don't want to be bothered with anything. Alright. Keep your abundant hair on. Okay, I think that's about it. Yep. Becoming useful somehow. Oh, we got 3 new places. Where do you guys think we should go? Experimental stage, Madame Two Spells, or the forensics lab? New place, Pretty Lady of Mystify Magic, or the crime? I feel like I want to... Dell says forensics, the new place. Sounds like forensics is kind of the winner. Answers that question. Alright, let's go to forensics. Oh. This is a place. Also, burb. I see burb. This is a fucking lab, alright. I'm gonna salt the eyes in here too. The doctor's in here, but we're here now, so we might as well do some sightseeing, don't you think? What a seasoned tourist you've become, Miss Sasato. Let's have a little look around, being careful not to upset any restless souls. So it's a Waggio cameo. Meow. Okay. Burb. I like the burb. They stuffed burbs? An owl and a crow. Okay, they're stuffed. They're stuffed burbs. Ugh, I was afraid you were going to say that. Hard to tell myself they're just sleeping with their eyes open. Yes, I think perhaps you were wise to put something like that, like your Dromedon, instead. Okay. Ugh, I would not like to work in a place like this. It's very tidy, though, isn't it, Mr. Naruhodo? Imagine how efficiently she must work. I wonder if you're implying... Which is bad for the eyes, and the chemical smell can't be good for you. Okay. Oh, cameo! God damn it, Aeon! I suppose I can just about cope with one-eyed Darren Lewis still watching still. That's all. Okay, nothing of note here. I don't think. Is there anything of note here? Toxic. Ugh, that's worrying because there are also things that look like salt and pepper shakers in there. Yes, and they actually say salt and pepper on them. Tata probably spends a lot of time in this room, I suppose. Perhaps she has meals in there sometimes. Life goes on even when you're surrounded by death. Check the tools. When you consider each in isolation, looks quite innocent. So why is it that when you put them side by side, they seem so horribly disturbing? It might be best not to ponder it too deeply. Seeing the large tome that's open on the desk does make me wonder, though. How can anyone concentrate on bookwork with this acrid odor of chemicals? Either have a cast iron constitution, or a really terrible sense of smell. There's gotta be something here. It's gotta be the bookshelf. Like the pickled umibushu poems. That is laboratory as well. They're human organs in a preserving solution. Probably as examples of some rare medical condition. Disadvantage for the rest of the month. I'd also like to point out that Monday might be really tricky for me to actually get stuff done, as I'm working 9 in the morning till 5:30, which means the Pokemon session has to be organized all weekend. I'm sure there are fruit liquors or umibosho out there. Okay, let's check this. Another display case. Polished to a high sheen, and the intricate carving is a joy to behold. Western cabinet makers really are skilled, aren't they? Do you have nothing to say about the skeleton inside? Oh, really? Can't you tell that I'm trying very hard to avoid talking about the terrifying contents of the case? I'll be sure to remember. No. Is that everything? Looks like it. I think that's everything, so... Oh, no, there's something else here. Oh, the book. The actual book. I could have forensic investigation team spending? What is it? The other team purchases various equipment and supplies on a monthly basis, but... Oh, one entry seems rather strange. Really? In what way? 500 scalpels every month? I don't know. Judicial autopsies are only carried out in certain special... Scalpel blades can be sharpened, too. It does seem a bit strange. You're right. 500 scalpels a month. 4. That was it. The book was what was needed. Uh-oh. Ah! There she is. You went here, so you thought you'd snoop around. That's acceptable to you people from the East, is it? Well, what do you want? Well, Strongheart told us, you see, that it was you who examined the victim's body. Mr. Rasmus's body, I mean. So we came to ask you about your findings. As advice. Very well. If the Lord Chief Justice has given a consent, I'll tell you what our investigation revealed. But when we're done, you must leave immediately. Charming. What a charming lady. I'm trying to... I know I've seen that in a lot of places before. I get a feeling we're not gonna... Oh, that's a pose. I didn't mean... So I'm not good enough? In that case, why would you show me anything? Ugh, clearly you're too good for me to show anything again. Okay, good to know. Yeah, I was about to say, Staff of Life. Yeah, I knew I saw that type of thing before. An examination to see. Oof! Spared from the experimentalist I stayed amidst an explosion, and the Mr. Asman who appeared moments later partway up the Crystal Tower. But without question, one and the same. So it's definitely the same. Interesting. If it was an elaborate trick, we can only speculate about how it was carried out. Let's see. Two people who were very similar to each other were involved. They could have made it appear as if one single person switched places, couldn't they? Very true, but sadly in this instance, there was not the case. The man who disappeared and the man who subsequently reappeared was the same person. The fingerprints at the scene make that quite evident. Fuck! Forensic evidence in the British justice system. They will be used as an investigation aid as a matter of course. That smile! She took place. So, where does that leave us? My team was tasked with investigating, not drawing conclusions. Instantaneous kinesis is impossible, and yet the body did move from one place to the other. This hasn't cleared anything up at all. It's made the whole thing even more of a mystery. Oh! Wait, what? Wait, oh holy shit! That's, oh, I forgot the names of those guys. But they walk around the London streets. They used to walk around the London streets with that bird mask. That is genuine true. And did she just call the doctor Mama? So it's a daughter? Play doctor, thank you. Hello. To meet you? Pleased to meet you. I'm a defense lawyer. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, Mama. What? I've never seen inside an Eastern person before. I want to know what it looks like. I'm going to die. Of course you can't. It's a live specimen, as you can very well see. Boring. Why do I expect this? Why do I expect this voice with Louise from the fucking Pokemon D&D game? Boring. I think I just had a near-death experience. Oh dear, Mr. Naruhodo, you're as pale as a corpse. Then let's leave before I'm mistaken for one! Yeah, major help. Alright, let's go to 2 spells before we check the crime scene. I want to see more of this. No, I just half expect that voice. Even that, yeah. It's true though, Del. Come on. Those who know our campaign, well, tell me about this. I'll sort of, annoying. I don't know whether that works for Seath style voice with her attitude or little lady. Oh yeah, this is Sasato's first time. I'd like to turn on my heels and go straight home via the confectionery. Aww. Being scared makes you crave sweets. I can understand that. Give her a hug. Looking forward to a reunion after 6 months away, but there's no finding Mr. Sholmes anywhere. It's strange. He should be here investigating the abduction of the waxwork. Oh, so just have to come back again later. Okay, well, best check. Nope, not that one. And not that one, but I know we need to check the ladder with Sasato. Oh yes, a step ladder. I think perhaps we should let the prop eye just know that someone's left it out. The step ladder, I mean. Something wrong? Why do I feel as though I just managed to sidestep an argument? Hey! There we go! Got the trophy! That's it. That's all the major ones. I guess we'll go to the stage. Rule Britannia, Britannia rule the waves. Britain never, never, never shall be slaves. What? Rule Britannia? The UK flag's up there. I gotta do it. It's a customary. Like all you Americans, when you say the Union Jack, I expect all of you to say the Star Spangled Banner. Just like if you try to sing Canada. Doggy! Dog! Well, I know what you mean. It's really packed here today. It feels as though it's taken us 2 hours just to make our way through the crowds at this point. Has it? I shut my brain down, so I didn't really notice, to be honest. Gosh, I do wish I had your absence of mind sometimes, Mr. Naruhodo. There you are. I had a feeling you two will show him much before long. Gregson! So, I see you're hard at work as usual. Warm greetings to you. I do hope you've been keeping well since last we met. What's with all the ceremony? We just saw each other in court this morning. Not you, Sunshine. The gentlewoman so loyally at your side. Oh, yes, true. Inspector, how good of you to notice. He might be a bit rough around the edges, but he's still a proper English gentleman at heart. I suppose. You probably guessed we were hoping to investigate the scene some more. Right, well, that's the young trainee's domain. Oi, get over here, Gina! No, doggy! She's a dog! Daddy's a dog! She seems to be busy playing with a puppy. Probably giving it a traditional East End training. Okay, little fella. Fetch! Fetch! Oh, that's right. No, amazing, isn't it? She's a good kid, actually. Heart's in the right place, anyway. She's got the detection bug, if you ask me. Yep, I think she'll follow in my footsteps nicely. What do you mean? I'm being... Oh! Gregson's transferring? What? It's a bit sudden, isn't it? I had no idea. Where are you going to be posted then? We'll come see how you're getting along. Not likely, but you're welcome to try, if you don't mind a trip to France! I'll be working in the Paris Police Prefecture. Should be right up my alley. But France? It's an entirely different country. I don't understand. Why would you be sent there? That's the way the adult works, Sunshine. Now don't go poking your nose in what's not wanted. Gregson? Intending to take the kid with me when I go. Gina as well? Well, I can't leave her here in London. Who knows what become of her? I suppose he's worried she'll slip back and slipping their hands into people's pockets and purses. I don't think he's worried about a pickpocketing story. I think he's worried about the Reaper. Oh, of course! Inspector Gregson's mine too, is it? Anyway, I haven't mentioned any of this to Gina, so don't go blabbing, you hear? Oh, Gina doesn't even know. Gotta keep that diving diva safe and sound until all this is over, at least. Oh! Gina! Bloomin' diving diva again? So you heard that, did you? Right, well, any questions about the scene, you can put them to my capable detective diva here. And Gregson's off. Alright, you heard the boss. Inspector Lestrade's in charge here now. Suppose I better keep my word and not mention anything about Paris. So, Gina, you've got a new dog, have you? Oh! Toby! Oh! That is the most precious thing I have ever seen. And he's got the same scarf as Gina. Oh! She's so precious. Kadachi, Toby Kadachi. Not now, Kotlol! No, Kotlol, it doesn't deserve to zap! Yeah, the doggies seem lovely. It's not so lovely Inspector Gregson is playing on my mind, to be honest. Yeah, puppy! Love the puppy! I love the puppy! Oh, not examine, not examine. I got distracted. Oh shit! One of them already changed! Okay, first, dog. The dog. To talk about Toby Fox. Fuck. Final them up then, Gina. Oi, don't be being so flaming rude, Odo. Slight over-exaggeration, don't you think? He ain't no mutt, alright? Toby's... how do they put it? Oh, yeah. A bona fide detective. Oh, God damn it! They just write themselves. Give me a minute. Thank you. Sorry? I've given him a proper title and everything. It's Chief Inspector Toby. Oh, more senior than Inspector Gregson, is he? Well, and people love their dogs. Dog, is he? The police recruit dogs now? I've heard that they're already being used officially in Germany as part of their city policing, hence the German Shepherds. For chasing criminals and such like. They have a wonderful sense of smell, after all. I have a fairly good sense of smell myself, as it happens. Tell undergarments that have been freshly laundered from undergarments that haven't. That's nothing compared to this little fella, Oda. Oh, really? According to what the boss said. Sugar translate the next Ace Attorney game. Stop it! Look at that! Look at that! Oh, this is the best sprite. Oh, he barked. I think we found the new best character of the whole damn game. Toby. To the other side of the world? I mean, you can swim? Mr. Naruhodo, I think you may have missed the point by rather a wide margin. I just can't believe this little dog has such an incredible skill. I'm telling you, Odo, there's going to be more and more dogs doing their bit for the police in the future. Oh. Yeah, how come we not want it one of these days? I'll be barking orders at lost the other way around. Oh dear. Sorry, Gina. I don't think I agree with your vision quite that much. Well, anyway, whatever you think about Toby here is Britain's first police dog. Down the East End the other day. Someone just chucked him out on the street. There you go. I knew she'd lifted him from somewhere. Oh. It's great, wasn't it? A right laugh. It was a new one on me, that. You know, being in court and not spending the whole time worrying about I'm about to be found out. You did keep an awful lot of secrets in all your previous court appearances, didn't you? Yeah, and Odo's made things hard for me every single time and all. Just doing my job, Gina. Watching someone else get in the neck is a lot of fun, actually. It's amazing when you showed that dodgy professor's dodgy experiment was a total fix. You know, I'm starting to feel like Gina is the true example of Schreidenfreude. She just enjoys the misfortune of others. She's put it, Gina. It's Mr. Naruhodo's client. Yes, I'm starting to wish he wasn't, though. It's the boss I feel sorry for. Sent off to do the impossible. What do you mean? He's supposed to arrest that other cove, ain't he? And in time for tomorrow and all. You know the dodgy engineer? What's his name again? Mr. Drebber, you mean? Enoch Drebber. That's the one, yeah! So the police are looking for the mysterious man with the black monocle. I guess they would be. It's putting too much on the boss, if you ask me. He says it's giving him gut-ache. Oh dear. But I do wonder if that isn't actually from all the fried food. Okay, well, let's get the scene investigation. I'm actually hoping that we can investigate the scene again. Yeah, alright. If it's around here, you can do what you like. Oh, that's alright, is it? Playing with my new friend here. Yes, Toby. Oh. Spine must be at the top of the stairs, I presume. Yeah, so if you don't mind... Pursues... Oh! Oh? It's like I told Odie yesterday. Even I ain't allowed near that wreck. What's it called again? The reason we ain't supposed to touch it? The Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act is what you were thinking of. That's the one! That's why only them are allowed to investigate it. What are they called again? The forensic investigation team. Is that what you were thinking of? That's the one, yeah. Well, at least she's close to the mark rather than far away. I think so. I don't really get it, to be truthful with you. You're still supposed to get permission from some bigwig or from others, I know. What was his name again? Lord Strange something. Strongheart. I'm not sure that's quite right, Gina. I think you mean Lord Strongheart, perhaps. That's the one, yeah. Apparently, he's always watching the time or something. Actually, we just recently been to see Lord Strongheart. There we go. Yeah, you what? You met him? And the boss was called to go and see him. He waited for 3 hours at the Cove's Untrust and came back sniveling. Tragic. Seemed as long as we touch nothing. Oh, yeah? Honestly? Alright then, go ahead. But if it turns out you're lying, it'll be the boss who gets it. He'll never eat another chip again in his life. So, you're still saying all this is above board, are you? Oh, wow. So she's literally trying to pass by to say, Gregson will get it if you're wrong. That really would be tragic. Right, them's the stairs. Off you go. Alright, let's get the whereabouts before we go on. Straight up drawer. I wonder if they've had any luck. He's really funny looking. Got 2 eyes what don't match. Stole a glimpse of a picture of him earlier. I didn't actually pinch it or nothing. The old devil's got it. Sorry? Who? You know, that scowling reap. Oh! That blood red plonk. Wow, Capcom even knows the word wine. The plonk? So Lord Van Sykes has a photo of our friend. I don't know what he's always scowling about, mind. Probably would have been a pretty good boss as it goes. Be the Reaper's apprentice in the detective's training. I knew he said defective. Whoops. See, if the choice is between a chip-guzzling detective and a chalice-glugging demigod, you're equally badly off with both. I suppose you're right. I hadn't thought of it like that. I'm glad we put that one to bed. Anyway, the point is, everyone at the yard's dead set on finding a fishy engineer, but they don't seem to be no clues to go on, so they're stuck. Not just to Drebber at all. Oh! I have an idea! I have an idea! Aha! Yeah, I'm still learning me letters at the moment. I only know A to E, so if it ain't much bleeding trouble. Oh, God bless her. Eh? How come? It's just a dirty old smudge on the back, that's all. Turns out that it's very high quality French machine oil. It's a very particular scent, apparently. A scent. A scent. You see where I'm going with this? You sure? I don't smell nothing. No, we didn't mean that you should smell it. Oh, right. You mean Toby. Good Gina, she realized. Good dog. Well, so good, he can track people over the oceans, can't he? Professor Hairbrain informs us that this oil is unique to Mr. Drebber's workshop. Good boy! I think he's picked up the scent. You mean if he follows the scent of this oil, Toby could lead us to that dodgy cove's workshop? Good boy! If you do this, Toby, good boy! We'll give it a go. I'll just borrow that. Wait, when did you... Once a pickpocket. I can lead everyone to that Drebber's workshop. You know what? You know what? I'd say she deserves a chance. Poor Gregson. He's about to be demoted in more than one way. Right then, Odo. Leave it to me. Sorry? We're gonna get going after that dodgy engineer cove right this minute. Oh, but hang on. Someone's supposed to be on guard duty here all the time. I'm afraid we can't help. We need to get on with the investigation as well, Gina. Oh, right. Oh well, never mind. Ain't gonna be me what gets it in the neck. It'll be the boss. That's not the reason you do it, though! Poor Gregson again. There's 2 guards back there. Got that oil center, have you? Wagga High or best pet in the series? Wagga High for 1 word, or Toby for having more than 1 animation. Go Toby! Go Gina! I genuinely hope it works. Hope so too. Ideally before the dog swims across the channel to France. Alright. Let's go. Let's go to the experimentation stage and let's have a gander. Again. Zap. October, the Great Exhibition Grounds Experimental Stay. There it is again. Machine. That was used to deceive people into thinking instantaneous kinesis would take place. Yep, that's right. Or rather, it was the machine. It's a little worse for wear at the moment. Just puppy. No, the professor was tricked as well. He didn't know anything about it. Yes, of course. It is amazing, though, isn't it? The scale of the whole affair is so very British. We do big and that's it. You haven't seen America. Huge. Is that? Sykes! So I think we're more or less done here, aren't we? Shall we, Mr. Sato? He is the Reaper, remember. We'll do well to keep our distance, I think. But we have permission to be here from the top. We will allow to investigate this machine, as long as we don't touch anything. From the top? Do you mean Lord Strongheart? We stay here and stare at this as long as we like. She could have been at the center of the explosion here, and it wouldn't have bent her steel will. Well, I suppose we should speak to Sykes. Least approachable man in the world, winner 10 years in a row. Wow! Your country and your assistants stand firm behind you. Lord Van Sykes? Hey, buddy! So good to see you. What? Well, bit of a weather having, isn't it? I thought I was making it quite clear that I didn't want to be disturbed. Apparently you Nipponese are only equipped to read the signs. Oh, I read them. And it said, beware of dangerous substance. It's called your stare. So, what are you doing here? Entry to this area is prohibited. Ah, well, the thing is, it's just somehow granted us permission to investigate, on the condition that we didn't disturb anything. And yet you've managed to disturb me. Ah! Never mind. State your business, then. Come to think about it, there are quite a few things I'd like to ask. Yeah, there's a few I can think of, too. You won't know unless you try. Well, at least you're honest. First, Clint. So, Clint was the name of your older brother, I understand. Lord Van Sykes? You Nipponese. I always have to be on guard whenever you're around. So you've been investigating me. Oh, no, it's not like that. Okay, well, alright. It is a bit like that. Oh, don't worry. My older brother was also a prosecutor. He was the pride of the Van Sykes family. But tragically, a vicious killer took him from us. The professor, you mean? And you had the collector in my campaign as dumb. What, you're saying the professor's fine? Is something funny? And that's the extent of what you've discovered, is it? No, you shouldn't be surprised. Sorry? There's more of it then? Lackluster work is very much your trademark, isn't it? Ugh, you're too kind. Are you going to tar all Nipponese with the same brush next? So tell me, what's your interest in that historic event? As it happens, Lord Van Sykes, it's a rather curious case that's come to our attention. Are you aware of the Madame Tuspel's Museum of Waxwork by any chance? I am, naturally. I believe that since last month I feature in one of the displays there for public scorn. Wow! Of course the infamous Reaper of the Bailey would have to be exhibited, wouldn't he? Well, a particular waxwork has been stolen from the place and held for ransom. A particular waxwork? Which... Wait, you mean... Yes, it's the Professor. Mr. Sholmes is investigating the case as we speak. I was unaware of that. He's turned as white as a sheet. Wow, we actually got him! Are the police trying to locate the engineer, Mr. Drebber, already? Surely that goes without saying. We're keen to see him found as well. The trouble is, we don't have much to go on aside from the description we caught earlier. The magic book! Professor Hairbrain was of a tall, thin gentleman with straight white hair and wears a black monocle. So I was just wondering, I mean, I realize it's probably not possible, but any more clues you can give us? Sasato is about as straightforward. What? We have a... There's that plus! There he is. So that's Drebber. What? Oh, no, nothing. I was just surprised that you shared this with us. We all need the man's testimony in court tomorrow, which means we have to do everything we possibly can to track him down in the short time available. So why wouldn't I show you the photograph? What is it about Lord Van Sykes? Sometimes I just can't work him out at all. So this is Drebber. Whoa! You again! Ah, the file I requested for the trial tomorrow. Thank you. Uh-oh. Are you alright? Sasato has just turned surprised. Van Sykes' apprentice, apparently. So I'm not the only one. Susato can see it too. Lord Van Sykes? May we speak with your apprentice for a moment? With him? Why? Huh? Kazuma? So it is Kazuma, right? What? No. No, 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 no. No, no, no. No, you're telling me that's Kazuma? That is Kazuma? But he push punk. What? No! This can't be. be? Is it really Kazuma? And he ran off. What's going on here? Even Van Sykes. Not completely. Just in my apprentice, exactly. You act as if you know the man or something. Well, since when has he been in your care? I don't recall you having an apprentice before I left Britain 6 months ago. Lord Strongheart introduced me about 3 months... So 3 months ago. Instructions to mentor him as a prosecutor. Didn't tell you why, did he? The man appears to be suffering from amnesia. Oh. Oh no. I have a horrible feeling where this game's going now. I have a horrible idea where this game's going now. We're gonna fight Kazuma as a prosecutor, aren't we? If that is him. Oh no. No, 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 no. What are you doing, game? This is the third case. Oh shit. Judicial assistant? It's a 2-on-2 match! It's gonna be 2-on-2! We actually have an assistant match! Of course. Oh, yes, thank you. Reaction there. Certainly really seemed to hit a nerve. She called out Kazuma-sama. Oh, Sasato. Is there anything more we're missing? Well, might as well check this while we're here. The birdcage was right in the middle of it all. The grill! Designed to open. Oh! The birdcage could have dropped through and disappeared from sight. I don't think there's any doubt that this was a very elaborate hoax, is there? Interesting. Oh, this... Oh, wait. The birdcage? Yeah, that was boxes before. Before he was apparently beamed. Interesting, that's right. Yeah, because they're the boxes behind it. Besides the Japanese cypress, I think. An explosion and falling from a great height. It's relatively unharmed. What wonderfully durable construction, wouldn't you say? I don't understand the forensic. I suppose they must have brought it back here when they finished their work. Charming! They left it back at the scene of the crime. They given strict instructions not to touch anything, but still, too important a piece of evidence to overlook. Need to do for the trial. So we have the birdcage. That's all we were missing. I'm the defense lawyer. That's what we're trying to figure out. Okay. So we can check the birdcage. The hole! It is a mole and it lives in a hole. Paladin's raising his hand. Is that you here to watch or are you having answers? Results tower below. A fall of about 30 feet or 9 meters. Even the man tragically dead. Damage at the base. Anything else on it? Nope. Oh. You missed the masked man, hadn't you, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh boy. At Lord Van Syke's office. This is horrible. Where are we going with this? It means that Mr. Sholmes lied to us. I know. We're going to need to speak to him about that. You're going to have to leave now. Oh, the forensic investigation team due to arrive shortly. Find you here, it will cause problems. What sort of problems? Foreign affair problems. Well, we could do without that. We'll be on our way. Let's go, Mr. Sato. So we're not allowed back up there. Gina's doing her job. So now we just need to find Trevor. Go, Toby! Oh boy, we're gonna go find Sholmes. Let's go find Sholmes. Things discussing Danny meet him after these months. Yes, it's quite possible he might know something useful. You're right. Madam Two Spells. Oh boy. I didn't know stories yet. What are the odds? Oh, Zong. Same old, same old. Next work. Here we are again at the House of Horrors. I haven't got used to the place yet. I'd still like to turn on my heels and go straight home. Via the confectionery, of course. Susato really is after something sweet today, isn't she? At that waxwork, I'm quite sure it wasn't there before. Ah! There he is! Oh, sorry. I think you'll find... That's the temporary waxwork himself. Oh! Two Spell! The dedicated employee. Oh yes, hello again. It's Ryunosuke. Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Spellbound by the great detective, he is a marvel. My precious waxwork is already back where it belongs. You don't mean... But yes, the mystery is solved already. Shit, we found it! You see, he has returned to his habitual duties. Yes. His habitual duties? Alors, do not disturb. If there were people here, I'd believe it. She looks very perplexed. So, are we allowed to examine him? You know, I kind of want to check what this is. What is this? It's the one with the big knife that's supposed to be the killer. I don't think anybody would be in any doubt about that, surely. According to the description, the bathtub at the back has no particular significance. What? Really? I would have thought it was meant to show that the killer also worked in a bathhouse peddling criminal wares. Aha, we have a new theory! Well, that's a new one. Now, should we disturb our bundle of joy? No, we'll check him in a minute. It's in the middle of the House of Horrors. Whatever's on the other side of them, you just know it's going to be terrifying, don't you? Why don't you spell special exhibits? It seems you have to pay extra to go inside. I know! Can you believe that? Pay more money, as if we were scared enough already. It's not my doing, Mr. Naruhodo. Aww. Well, the policeman's gone. Let's check Mr. Sholmes. Yep, that is him. You might find that he's quite nearby, actually. Oh? What do you... Boom! Indeed, my dear fellows, it is I! The world-famous great detective Waxwork, Sherlock Holmes! I'm surprised Sasala didn't faint. Oh, she did. Oh, she did. Oh, she did faint. Whoops. My most humble apologies. I thought I died and gone to eternal paradise for a moment via London. My dear madam, allow me to make amends by offering you a tasty free deduction at some point. As long as it's not of questionable street food quality. Don't understand. Why are you working as a waxwork here, Mr. Sholmes? Merely a secret identity, you understand. Though the case is largely solved now. Largely solved. We're talking about the waxwork abduction, I presume. Indeed we are, my good fellow. As I predicted, it was as easy as proverbial pie. Though I confess I'm yet to partake of a pie, proverbial or otherwise. Any food so far today, for that matter? Ah, one stomach growl on cue. Her stomach rumble echoed around the whole museum. How did you manage to solve it so quickly? Well, do remember I said it was largely solved. Negotiated with the culprit. What? An invention allowing you to hold a conversation with people far away. In Japan, only the imperial capital and... Oh! Morning, a telephone call was received here from the perpetrator of the abduction. As such, I was able to negotiate terms, and in the end, the waxwork was returned! Jeez! You and I? It would appear the culprit had always intended to return the stolen waxwork in any event. Why? Yes, I think perhaps the ransom demand was necessary to avoid unwanted suspicion regarding the true motive. What? I mean, your negotiating was entirely unnecessary? I'm waiting for the fact that I must ask you to keep from Madame Spells at all costs. A hungry young Iris awaits my return to Baker Street after all. Poor Iris. Now then, do I sense that you have some business with this great waxwork? We do. First, Drebber. Must have tried and track down somebody down. Oh? Yes, a man by the name of Enoch Drebber. Oops. He's the swindler who duped Professor Hairbrain and the engineer who built the kinesis machine. A swindler and an engineer. Quite the modern man. Seems to be a conjurer of sorts too, with considerable knowledge of stage magic. We really need to locate him before the trial resumes tomorrow morning. But we have so few clues to go on, that's the trouble. Do you have any good ideas? I have no data yet. It is a capital mistake to have good ideas before one has data. Something of the man's appearance, at least. I may be in Aha! Drebber's appearance. Fortunately for you, however, presently I have little to occupy myself and little to fill my stomach. As soon as you find any clue, no matter how small, I shall gladly give you my thoughts on it. Well, at least he's honest. And now... Did you lie to us? My dear Mr. Naruhodo, stay that piercing stare. What is this about? Last winter, when we first met on our way to Great Britain aboard the steamship. That very crime. So then, let us unravel this mystery and discover what events led to this curious murder. You told us that it was murder, and you examined Kazuma-sama's body. Indeed, and wherein lies the problem? We met him earlier today. The victim, Kazuma Asogi. Oh! You're quite sure? He was wearing some sort of mask and was apparently suffering from amnesia. But yes, I'm quite sure. It was Kazuma-sama. Sholmes. You must have known at the time, Mr. Sholmes, that he wasn't actually dead. Sholmes? Well, I can only assume I was swept up in the... What? I don't suppose the performance would pass muster, would it, Mr. Naruhodo? I could believe that the crewman present at the time made a mistake, but not you, Mr. Sholmes. I will now tell you something of the first importance, my dear fellow. Great detectives are wont to lie. It will serve you to remember that. Peace, Mr. Sholmes. Tomorrow in court, you will find yourself on the threshold of a great mystery. For now, I'm afraid that's all I can say. You fucker! So he knows something. Well, Trevor! Eyes over this photographic print. There we go. Piece of engineering we seek. Well, all Englishmen look broadly the same, of course. So looking at the photograph won't be particularly instructive. You all right, Mr. Sholmes? Ah, yes, forgive me. Very interesting, this. Very interesting indeed. He knows something. What the fuck is going on here? I have a suggestion, Mr. Naruhodo. Will you indulge me? Well, what is it? As I explained to you when we arrived, the missing waxwork has been returned, and I personally installed it in the exhibit from which it was taken, behind those thick curtains. The Professor exhibit, isn't it? Would you like to see it? For a mere 5 shillings. That's a special one-time only price, understand? What? The opportunity won't come again, I might add. Wouldn't you like to see the fruits of my labor? We do have a rather pressing investigation to carry out. Perhaps we could postpone? The price is very reasonable, 5 shillings. I think you'll... Oh, he's doing this deliberately. Are you being quite serious, Mr. Sholmes? Surely you need only look at my expression to ascertain if this is seriousness or silliness. I can never tell with you. That's the point. Couldn't hurt. It's your 5 shillings. Oh, Sasalo! Gratefully received. So, the special exhibit awaits behind the curtain. To pursue it at your leisure. About to see the Professor. So, this is supposedly it. Seconds are stolen. It's gotta look like Asmon. No. We could ask Gina to retrieve it for us. Pickpocketing police officers and diddling detectives. Is this what makes Britain great? Demigod prosecutors taking the law into his own hands, or chip-loving inspectors? Inspector Gregson comes off rather well in that list, I think. Oh, the exhibition. Oh, thanks, Del. Ooh. That's it. I say we turn on our heels and go straight home via a really big confectionery. We certainly can do that. We paid 5 shillings already. True. Actually, now that I'm looking a little more closely, we've paid good money to see an exhibit that's clearly incomplete. The detective is far more terrifying than anything else in place. It was largely solved. Hey, Mr. Sholmes heavily implied there'd be a clue about the engineering here, didn't he? But where? Is that fear or frustration that's making Sasato-san's voice tremble? So what the fuck's going on? Oh my god, that fucking owl! Okay, let's check the major one first. I don't know what Madam Two Spells said. 5 victims, all of noble or royal blood. The waxwork is so lifelike, isn't it? Like all the models in this place. I know, it looks like it could just stop moving at any minute, doesn't it? Only it had a head, that is. Examine it in a little more detail. A condemned man. Interesting. He was chopped off by a guillotine, but unable to find peace, he emerged from his grave as a headless ghost. Do we have to entertain such terrifying ideas, Mr. Sato? I'm sure the bottle had a head once. There's a metal fitting for it, see? And perhaps Mr. Sholmes absently-mindedly forgot to reattach it? That's an extremely absent-minded detective, if you're describing, isn't it? Perhaps the thief absent-mindedly forgot to include the head when he or she returned to the museum. And that would be an extremely absent-minded thief. Some reason why only the head wasn't returned? This professor look like, do we? Huh? Broke Eon. Why do I have the feeling you're actually right with this? Piece of glass have come from, I wonder. I think to increase its strength? But why? Well, perhaps because the glass had to span a particular wide area, such in a big building, for example. We've seen a large glass building recently, haven't we? And some of the glass was broken, too. You don't mean the Crystal Tower? God damn it. It makes you think, doesn't it? I think Eon Kobe established the kinesis command was a trick. But first, glass. It's a glass almost as thick as it is wide. If you were to compare it to a human, only Mr. Sholmes has such thick skin. There's really no need for such comparison, Mr. Naruhodo, as you well know. Anyway, it can only be from the Crystal Tower, surely. So it was probably made especially to meet the demands of the great structure. Well, confirmed. How I discovered this fragment of glass is here in this waxwork. Is it just a coincidence? What about this guy? Charming as the rest, it looks so real. Seems to be a young man in a white overcoat. He has a large shuffle in his hand, too. Look. So we should investigate in a little more detail. Why is it I'm genuinely scared? I'm genuinely scared by this. A camera. I'm genuinely scared. Prince, I think perhaps you should treat Mr. Sholmes' inventions as exceptions to the rule. A man being in a graveyard at night with a camera. Trying to capture the moment a dead body came back as a ghost on film. Camera. Inside the camera, we can see what picture was taken. What's a photographic plate? It's a piece of glass coated in special illusion that reacts to the light coming through the lens. Open the cover at the back of the camera, we should find it. Eyes are shining. You really do like machinery, don't you? Anyone else scared by this? I'm kind of scared to look up. Lamp, lantern, Jochin. The point is, it casts very little light to be walking alone in a graveyard at night with only this. Well, I certainly couldn't do it. I'm not sure I could visit a graveyard at all, even in broad daylight, to be honest. Check the shovel. What's the man doing with a shovel in a graveyard in the middle of the night? I get the feeling the face is what we're looking at. No, it's a shovel. Oh no. Ah, would this be the last one? Oh dear. We've been through this, Mr. Naruhodo. It's a shovel. It's... Curious question. Are you shovel or spade? Distracted, I feel. Perhaps we should concentrate on what the man was doing with the implement. Bury the hatchet? You're right, though. What was the man doing in the graveyard in the first place was the real question. Kinda don't want to look at his face. I'm kinda scared. Yeah, I don't do horror. This is almost horror. I mean, graveyard, this is... Oh. You think you should... I got a horrible feeling where this is gonna go. A monocle! No! But that's... Holy shit! Are you telling me? Fucking... I mean, maybe. Hang on. I mean, it's different hair, but it's still the same thing. That's still Drebber. That's Drebber. So... Drebber! What the fuck? It's the subject of your present hunt, I believe. Yeah, that's right. Who's this man? Why is he here in the exhibit? And why does the convict behind him have no head? The head was missing when the model was returned by the thief who stole it. What a surprise! Isn't solved yet, is it? Did I not say so myself? Largely solved were my words, I believe, but I must locate the missing head tout de suite. Say, or I'll be in grave trouble. I'm very hungry. I still wait for my return to Baker Street, preferably with rations. Now, something about this room is strange. Maybe? Displays in the House of Horrors are supposed to depict real events, are they not? Indeed they are, Mr. Sato. Do go on. And as terrifying as they are, the scenes in the other exhibits are believable, but this one... It have happened, could it? I think it's time I educated a little. The nature of the incidents involved the Oh! Sholmes. I believe I told you a little about the professor yesterday, did I not? He took the lives of 5 victims, everyone being either a member of the aristocracy or royalty. All were attacked by an enormous hunting hound and had her throats ripped from their bodies. The Hound of the Baskervilles. Gosh, an enormous hound? How awful. After taking the life of his 5th killer was apprehended. It's of unprecedented magnitude in Britain, you understand. Accordingly, The professor was tried in a closed court. No members of the public were permitted. A closed court? So you mean the professor's identity? As you surmised, my dear fellow, his identity was never made public. Naturally, he was found guilty and was summarily sentenced to death by hanging. He was buried in a grave at Lowgate Cemetery, which adjoins the rear of the prison where he was held. Ooh, he died in... He got hanged and buried in prison, technically. That was... What? What? The very night he was buried, the convicted man... It's alive? What? He clawed his way out of the ground and emerged into the moonlit graveyard. The exhibit here depicts that very scene as described by the sole witness to those chilling events. And I think we know who that witness is. It was none other than... Enoch Trapper. Fuck. 10 years ago, the convicted professor, having been jittered and buried, emerged from his grave in the dead of night. The sole witness to that unimaginable scene was this young man. From appearances, I would say he was about 20 years old. 20 years old and shit! You discovered that! Damn it. No, it didn't. The incident and the sheer terror of what he'd seen is said to have turned his hair white overnight. The photograph we've had of his hair is completely white. For the following few days, the story of what he'd seen was on every front page in the capital. The public was frantic for every last detail about the killer who'd come back to life. As you've seen, an exhibit was even created here in Manonjisville, so that explains how the exhibit got made. I don't understand. It's what Mr. Drebber was doing in the first place, in a lonely graveyard in the middle of the night. That is the million-pound question. What does Sholmes know about this? This acts of terror through London's upper classes like a late panic 10 years ago. Understandable! One might say, at the very highest levels of society. And since the killer's identity was never made public, the boundaries... No killer had ever been systematically employed by a dog as a weapon of murder. Yeah, I can imagine the impact the case must have had. In time, of course, the rumors abated. And so, too, did talk of the shocking witness account of the convict who came back to life. It's forgotten, dismissed as a dubious ghost story, as a preposterous parlor tale. But why did people stop believing it? Why, simply because there's no resurrection to speak of, as we established in fact. No resurrection? Police investigated the grave in Lowgate Cemetery and published their findings. The convict's body was found to be buried exactly where it had been following the execution. So what? That would appear to be the... he lied? Which emerged from society. It's rather striking then that he would resurface now, don't you think? Murder couldn't really come back to life. That's not possible. But Jabba's hair is unusually white, and it really did happen overnight as a result of shock. It's hard to believe the incident was an out-and-out lie. So what the fuck's going on? Huh? Gina! Gina, what are you doing here? I asked Iris, and she said this is where you'd be, so... And she still has the gun. Manager spells will have you take a position as a waxwork if you're not careful. There might be a more pressing concern. Some flash powder left from 6 months ago, so... Calm down! Why is she here, though? Sorry, I got scared. You should try being the one on the other end of the barrel. Gina, what brings me here? What do you think? Oh! Did Toby... Toby did his job! Goodbye, Toby! Yes! There's a heading over there now in a drag, so come on. Here's the address. I got the bus to write it. Brilliant! Way to go, Gina and Toby! Uh-oh. You go. Don't mind me. I'll just stay. Oh, no. Well, you're the one who wants to make... I know my place in the exhibit over there. Oh, dear. Someone is feeling sorry for himself. Do you... Holmes, you're coming. Your words hearten me, I must say, but if I were to shirk my duties here, Madam would have me pay monetary recompenses and Iris's dinner plate. Forget that! I'll pay for everything! Whoa! There's not a moment to lose, my dear... God. No offer to share the cost from Mr. Holmes, then. Oh, Sasato! All right. Oh, mama! That's a gun. That's a laser. That's a machine. That's another kinesis. Indeed, it would appear so, though only a prototype, naturally. So you go here, then. Good boy, Toby. Little time. You've really worked miracles. It's Toby here who's the miracle worker. I see trophy. Good boy, Toby. Oh. I thought you lot would show up before long. Oh, Inspector. That's one knitted brow. He can still eat despite that. He's eating a lemon, not a bag of fish and chips. Inspector, sign of the engineer? Sadly not. We didn't find a soul in here. Fuck! There's a bow and arrow set! Got this place and given us the chance to investigate. According to what Gina tells me, we only found it thanks to a clue you lot turned up. I wouldn't want to say go to Paris with a debt of gratitude unpaid now, would I? Thank you. Anyway, if you're hoping to snoop around in here, I'd get cracking. Lord Van Zykes and the forensic investigating team are on their way here as we speak. And again. Imagine you got the picture by now. They don't take too kindly to lawyer types. Right. So then, my dear fellow, let's turn this place upside down when we have a chance. And you, Sholmes. Pardon? They take even less kindly to great detectives than they do to lawyers. Very droll, Vixen, very droll. But you may consider me nothing more than an inconspicuous waxwork puddle. Right then, let's see what we can find. Let's do it. First the gun. Oh, it is. Yeah, they always do it. Oh, too bad Gina and Sholmes don't give a fuck. Well, those two don't seem to be holding back. It's quite hollow inside. No working parts or devices. Ain't dropped to the floor or nothing. Not even a bone for Toby here, my dear fella. British people are very much ruled by their own ideals. You know us too well! We don't give a fick! Just these two, Mr. Sato. Okay. The arrows. I see arrows! Steel bolts! Steel bolts! Steel bolts! Steel bolts! crossbow bolts these, and just the right size for the bow, you look. There's our culprit. Yep, that's more evidence to support your theory. All goes to show that Drebber was the one pulling the strings behind the scenes. So, Drebber. It's all Drebber's doing. What the fuck? This appears to be most interesting. Yes, most interesting, wouldn't you say? That's a looking back massager, that's for sure. He's never seen a trophy before in his life. It's a Royal Society trophy for excellence in science. It's one for that. Like a massage. No, I'm fine, thank you. It's such a grand thing. It's become increasingly clear that there's much more to this Mr. Enoch Drebber than conjuring tricks. Couldn't agree more, my dear madam. How about you, Mr. Naruhodo? Wouldn't you like to take it with you? For your tired shoulders, of course. He's not going to let that go, is he? Yeah, he'll always keep that one at arm's length. Despite such an important trophy. True. English gentlemen create a mystery at times. A trophy. A trophy. And a plaque here. Fostering burgeoning talent for the future of scientific discovery. Rather ironic, doesn't it? I think Mr. Drebber really was a very talented scientist. Not much to go on. Stop it! Oh, I didn't check the camera, did I? Aha! Glass plate inside. You have to change the plate with each new photograph you take with you. Oh yeah, that was the old ones. Pfft. No plate. It's been removed. Fuck! The actual camera that was used at the time just had the waxwork as the actual person, so we never found a photograph of him. Oh, yes, you're right. Oh, poster shadow, but at least we have a response. Oh! Blood! Don't you get blood! Are you telling me are you telling me this whole thing's connected to a fucking camera? And not the actual way a camera's supposed to be used? For example, I can't help myself. I simply have to take it apart. Keep that away from Strongheart. His stomach now. He's given up having a watch. Oh, Professor Mikotaba. Don't think I don't see that. Oh, you see it now! Blood. Oh my. I'm sure it's not what you're thinking. That's blood. That is 100% blood. Look! Jeez, what are we looking at here? This door doesn't want to open. Looks like it's got a pretty hefty lock on it. Specialist locksmith on his way over from the yard. So hands off till he gets here. With permission, Inspector, I could have that lock open in less than a minute. Well, you don't have permission. And no one's giving it to you. Oh! It looked as though he really enjoyed that. That smirk! Besides, no, Drebber must have fled at the first sight of danger. What? Good Dobby. Right, mind the grease. Somebody ran. Somebody ran. My dear Gregson, as I said only minutes ago, if only it were accountants, I could have let that down less than a minute. Fine, I'll take the rap for it. Just get us through that blasted door. Holy shit! There, done. You confused minutes with seconds, I think. Since I feel, what are we waiting for? Nothing for it, I suppose. This is an emergency. Let's go! Fellow, right! Let's have a look! Oh dear. There's only one door. Nope. Look. Footprints on the ceiling? I'm trying to burn something. And they didn't do it. Blueprints! Blimey, if we had these, there'd have been no need to muck about trying to investigate. Fuck! This rope was lying on the floor at the foot of that pillar. A rope? But you do not observe, Mr. Naruhodo. Alright. Oh, Sholmes found the obvious. Wait, that's a green balloon! First, I'm going to check that safe, because the safe, I get the feeling, is important. I suppose. Bolted to the floor to prevent exactly that. Well then, you could just steal the floor as well, I suppose. I'm sorry, but you really aren't making any sense at all. That must be very important. Now, how about the bomb? So Naruhodo, yes, in point of fact, something rather fascinating. What do you make of this? To be a small-scale modeling event. I've never seen anything like it before. A bundle of thick cigars wrapped up in a... Mr. Sato? Wait, oh, she knows dynamite? That's a time bomb! What did you say? A time bomb? I'm sorry, but what is a time bomb exactly? Well, I'm truly one of a kind, Mr. Naruhodo. I won't take that as a compliment. You don't know nothing, do you, Hodo? You haven't got a clue what it is either, have you? I need to consult a dictionary later, Mr. Naruhodo. But this particular specimen is no time bomb, though I confess it is a very similar... Oh, it's not a real bomb. It's fake. What is it? Heart of the matter? Consider my lot most unfair, for I'm fated never to know how it feels to flounder as you do when a puzzle presents itself. Accept the hardships that come with being a great detective, Mr. Sato. Here we go, I feel a great deduction coming. 2 conclusions. Oh no! We got a deduction? Now? The work of Drebber himself. And the second conclusion on the floor there is without question completely genuine. Really? You want to explain it now when it could be genuine? I'm gonna go grab a drink first. My throat's getting sore, and that cough was genuine. Shums is staring. Oops. Oh, did I pick the wrong time to do this? Okay. Well, Inspector Gregson seems to light up with the idea anyway. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I'm not sure that's a great idea. My dear madam, I hereby dedicate this great deduction to you. Kindly stand just there, Mr. Sato. Oh, yes? I'd be delighted. Oh, Sholmes gonna be it? Once again, Sherlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. Well, here we go. And really, Sasato's in the... Wow, they couldn't keep Sasato in the... Whoa! Did you see that? The bed, the table and chairs, the lamp, everything is upside down. Almost as if every item in the room had until recently been happily positioned on the ceiling, falling straight down onto the floor. Every item was on the ceiling, suggesting that... Indeed, you guys see it too, right? You guys see it too, right? It's gravity? Apparently Sholmes has the power of Zawaldo. Reversed and then... Goodness! No. The inverted furniture clearly reveals the truth about this whole business. No. I too was incurious at first. However, my conviction in my analysis was cemented when I observed this. The bomb. What? Anti-gravity device? and does it have a clock on it? Most relevant question indeed. That is a timing device that controls when the gravity direction will switch. The requirement for the engineer to be able to restore normal gravity automatically. What we heard earlier from the other side of the door was the moment the restoration occurred. Yes, the reason why everything is upside down is because of this anti-gravity. No! So you see, we need to look no further to explain the state of which we find this room. Oh wow, in front of a bookshelf. That's ironic. A timer device. Seen in a dream I once had when I fell out of bed. Gravity was reversed. Yeah. I'm starting to wonder about it myself. Alright, let's try it another way. So to the next conundrum. What was our engineer friend's aim? Indubitably, the greatest clue we have to explain the actions is above our heads. How is it possible there are footprints all the way up there on the ceiling? A question whose answer will lead us neatly to the truth, my dear madam. The reason there are footprints on the ceiling is because of the nearby skylight. I'm glad Sasato is having the right reaction here. Escape. There's but one way into this room, excepting the skylight, that is. I love this. No, it's an acceptable skylight, even those footprints behind on the way. Sasato's upside down. Is she actually falling with it, or just that? If the gravity reversal was sudden, why wouldn't Mr. Drebber fall up the ceiling rather violently? Falling up is both scientifically and philosophically a rather interesting concept, I feel. The man was cornered with nowhere to run, so escape through the skylight was his only option. The rope! Interesting. Okay, the rope's the most logical part of this. By anchoring one end to the wall, this man was able to lower himself safely to the ceiling, which explains how Drebber was able to escape this room before our arrival. No. So reverse the pull of gravity again now, just for fun. No. No. Please tell me one of these turns out to be right. I would love if that's what happens. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, okay, you're distracted by the dog. Sasato is... She's completely spellbound. Well, I'm glad me and Gregson have the shit covered. I would expect nothing less. You're destined to be troubled by just one thing for the rest of your life. The thing is such a thing actually possible? The anti-gravity device, I mean? I would say that with man's current scientific knowledge at the turn of the 20th century, it's no more possible than instantaneous kinesis. Your deduction hinges on it! Dear fellow, when you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. Probable it may seem. I think so. Yeah, no, in other words, it wasn't done with... Well, in a way, my original was clumsy. Yes, I have a feeling I've read into it something that Mr. Sato lent me once. Objection! Oh! She objectioned? Ah, the spell's broken at last. You found on the floor, wasn't it? So why was it not hanging up? You escape in the way you described. Wouldn't it still be tied to the wall? I'm waiting for the rat. Mysteries inevitably unravel in the end, as I think you'll find. Do ropes, and as evidence of such, you need only look at the mystery we face in this room, skillfully unraveled. I would think so. I think perhaps we might need to give Mr. Sholmes the usual little helping hand. With some minor corrections, the great detective's great deduction leads to the truth. Yes, you're right. We must do it quickly before Enoch Drebber gets too far away. If you're ready, then let us resume. Sherlock Holmes' logic and reasoning spectacular. My turn. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. Let's rock, shall we? It's plain to see that this room is in complete disarray. The bed, the table and chairs, the lamp, everything is upside down. Almost as if every item in the room had recently been happily positioned on the ceiling. Straight down to the floor. Every item in the room was on the ceiling? Are you suggesting that... Indeed, the key here is gravity. It would appear that technology has at last succeeded in freeing us from the great pull of the Earth. For the gravity in this room was reversed and then suddenly returned to normality. The inverted furniture clearly reveals the truth of the part gravity. No! It would have been reversed in this very room. No. Self-admitted it was a scientific impossibility, so... Yes, you're quite right. We must completely discount the idea at once. Oh, that's unusually merciless of you, Mr. Silo. Limiting the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. The great detective himself said so, didn't he? While refusing to part with his dreams of anti-gravity devices. After examining this topsy-turvy scene a little more closely, reveals some proof that shows exactly what the gravity in this room was or wasn't doing. Hello? An upright vase! If gravity had fucked up, why is that the only thing right? It makes you think of the fragility of life, wouldn't you say? Goddamn philosophical! To be honest, Mr. Naruhodo, something else about made it rather deeper impression on me. I think we got it. Take that! There we go! The upright vase clearly reveals the truth of the part way. Upon my word, Mr. Naruhodo, you surpassed yourself by completely turning my argument on its head! Well, it's the old days. Trying to impress your assistant here, perhaps? No one is trying to steal your spotlight here, Mr. Sholmes. Trust me. As you rightfully say, though, it appears at first glance that all the furniture in the room is upside down. This unassumingly slender vase is standing keenly to attention. Unlike the large safe, there's nothing affixing it into the floor. And it's the exception that breaks the rule. In short, much as it pains me, the gravity in this room was never inverted at all! My deepest sympathies for your loss. Oh, Mr. Sholmes. But the show must go on, so let's continue our deductions. Yeah, this. The gravity device remains one other possibility. You don't say. Someone deliberately turned over every piece of furniture in here. Which might sound obvious, but leaves one mystery very much unsolved. Namely, why would anyone choose to do that? Quite naturally, there's an explanation. Yes, the reason why everything here is turned upside down is because of the anti-gravity device. No! He's absolutely determined that this device must have something to do with this, isn't he? I'm afraid the lure of an exciting scientific explanation is too strong. No doubt that somebody did this. Whoever it was must have a reason. I think we all know what said reason was. Well, let's look around and see if the answer prevents itself. This! Take that! That! Yep. The reason why everything is upside down is because of the safe combination. Precisely! I believe, Mr. Naruhodo, that you had a very similar experience once, did you not? Yes, last year, when I bought a lottery ticket and noted the ticket number down on the inside cover of a book just in case. That's it! For people who are forgetful souls at heart and always make a written note of important information. Just keeping the ticket itself safe would be more sensible, I think. And what, pray, happened next, Mr. Naruhodo? The day of the draw came around, I'd forgotten which book I'd written the number in and had to turn my room upside down to find it. That's it! For people who are forgetful souls at heart. Not if you always note things in the same place, she says as she holds the book. Actually won this. Oh, second prize. I couldn't remember which magazine I sent the ticket into. So thank you, Mr. Naruhodo, but I believe I've proved my point now. You won second prize. Oh. This room. Finding himself requiring access to the safe, the occupant of this room needed the combination code. He remembered that he'd written on the inside of a piece of furniture, but forgot which one. The stage in which we now find the room. Yes, Mr. Drebber overturned all the furniture in desperate hurry to locate the combination of the safe. Oh, I have most of my passwords written down too. Shh. Not a word. So we solved one case. Now where the fuck did he go? Next conundrum. What was our engineer friend's aim? Indubitably, the greatest clue we have to explain his actions is above our heads. Yeah, that is sticking out. It's leaving a print on me in the other way. It is nearly to the truth, my dear madam. The reason there are footprints on the ceiling is because of my skylight. No, this seems out of the way. And how did those footprints get there? Yeah, that's the big one out of trouble. Okay, come on, Chris. We got an answer. It was minutes ago, and those halcyon days never existed in the first place. Our faith in Mr. Sholmes is of the area. Putting our faith in Mr. Sholmes is what gets us into these situations. Oh! Hello? A shoe. Hey, look, it's the best gym Pokemon! Shoe! Gym Pokemon! The number of footprints, it must have been thrown up several times. Why would anyone throw that, though? That's true. Why? Take that! It's gotta be the shoe. There we go. It's on the scene because of the nearby shoe. On closer inspection, there are clearly footprints all over the balloon. Sounds about right. The skylight at all, but the balloon. But for what purpose? A green balloon. The piece of green balloon. Beside the green balloon that Mr. Gotts claimed he saw about the stage was the second bird cage the crew of the whole introduced deception. To say, if we assume the balloon in here is a model of the one used on the day, there's a strong possibility something may be concealed inside it. Something our absconder was desperate to retrieve before making a hasty getaway. But the balloon's out of reach. That's why it's such a projectile. Maybe the shoe. Most probably, Drebber intended to tear a hole in the envelope by assailing it with the shoe. However, his efforts were thwarted when the shoe itself became a prisoner of those lofty heights. Oh dear, we desperately need to examine that balloon. If only there was some way we could see inside. You may recall that I found this in the room earlier, which I believe offers a solution. The rope! To reach the intended destination, what better tool than this rope? Actually, that might be the most logical thing. That was clever. So we just throw the rope up to the balloon and then pull it down to the ground. Which is much easier said than done, I feel. It could take us a very long time as well. True, perhaps we need a more surefire method. In fact, we already have one. We do? Oh. Bang! Yep, gotta be it. Take that! There we go! Now who's the crossbow shot? In the end destination, what better tool than this crossbow? Seen, in fact, in all likelihood belongs to Mr. Drebber. If the man had only brought it away with him that day, he could have avoided losing a shoe at such a critical time as this. Shoot it! So, shall we? My dear fellows? Yeah, that's true. Pop! That's a head! That's a head! Oh boy. Heard of the Iron Man. Yeah, the man. Heads up! Hey, no one's following. We get heads up. We can't see the face inside. That means this is the head of a waxwork model. Does that mean? Yep, it's the missing one of them, of the one in the thing. Of course, I had this waxwork model. Well, that you've largely solved. Indeed it was, but I believe Madame Two Spells will now have to settle her sizable account with me. This, as you have now surmised, is the head of the infamous Professor. So why? The man responsible for stealing the Professor was Mr. fucking Drebber. Everybody's case in the waxwork, they're connected. No worries. Oh, there we go. Special cruise has come to an end, my dear fellows. All that remains is to speak with the architect of this adventure. Oh, keyhole! Nothing the way you can remove the mask yourself without treat someone. I'm sure that's the other one. I mean, just think about it. Imagine if you had an itch on your cheek all of a sudden. Ugh! Well, yes, that's true. But I'm not sure that warrants quite so much anger. Oh, right. Sorry. Don't think there's anything else. We'll have to double check that later. You mean Mr. Drebber? Is it quite impossible that he escaped via one of the skylights? Obviously, the man must still be in this room. He's in the fucking safe! He's in the safe! He's gotta be in the safe! You do the honors? Yes, of course. His hiding place must be the safe.
Take that!
Booyah! Gain access to this back room. We heard noises from in here, which tells us the engineer was still in the building at this point in time. He was in fact searching the combination for his safe. And pressed for time, made no attempt to right the furniture he overturned in the process. We can deduce that his search for the combination appeared recently indeed. In summary, Mr. Enoch Drebber is at this very moment inside that safe. Thus concludes Hairlock Show's great deduction of this topsy-turvy puzzle. I guess this place isn't so safe anymore. Case closed. Elementary. Oda, I think perhaps it's time we ended this game of hide and seek, don't you? By opening the safe, you mean? What else? Let's see. The combination was 1432582. I knew that. All right. Booyah. You found me. Oh. 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 Hello? Trapper! Right then, sir. Mr. Enoch Trebler, I presume. Correct. You better start talking, you tricked Professor Herbrader with that bogus machine you built. Yeah, me too. Truth be told, I never actually played that DLC yet. I've seen videos of it, but I've never played it. Whilst I would be delighted to answer your many questions. Personally, I would advise that you deactivate my little parcel first. Deactivate your parcel? I refer, of course, to the bomb. I left it in a most prominent position. Ha ha ha, I see. Stunned silence. You're all gearing up to die with me then. Shit! It's actually a real bomb. Oh fuck! He actually got it. Sholmes actually did it. Completely life-altering, can't they? Well, my dear fellows, that was a close shave. The reassemblance to an anti-gravity device is really quite startling, I must say. Anti-gravity devices don't exist! I wouldn't push it, Mr. Sholmes. Okay. Can we show this at all? Yes, we can. Actually, a lawyer for the Empire of Japan. I detest lawyers. Oh! They wield so-called special powers in an attempt to grind down our freedoms. Yes, let me be quite clear. I detest lawyers very much. Any chance two negatives make a positive? Well. Alright, fucker, what on earth happened? You found me, haven't you? No need to screw me down any further. Everything in here is precisely what it seems. Yeah, well, we'll be giving a thorough going over, don't you worry, Drabber. What fails to click with me is how you were able to locate my workshop. That I was not expecting. When I heard whistling from the other room, I knew it was time to bolt. Whistling? That would have been me. What did you do, Sholmes? Listen, I woke in a fine fettle today. No words, just tightly squeezed chips. Clearly I must have a screw loose though. I couldn't remember the combination for the safe. And another one loose as I couldn't remember on which piece of furniture I written it down. Over by the wall. Yes, I had hoped to exit through the skylight, but sadly the rope was too short. So I then set on about searching for the combination code to open the safe. And burning the criminal blueprints, don't forget. No, you failed to retrieve the head from the balloon among the rafters. Why? Yeah. Something is safe, having first set this parcel ticking. Well, I had no intention of being nailed by the police. So in short, I'd rather die trying. Which have you? Hiding right beside the ticking time bomb? Please, why do you suppose I chose to hide inside this safe? It's no ordinary safe, it's specially designed. A dynamite explode. Oh! So in fact, the safe was the only safe place. My god, he actually was telling the truth. So it was a safe place, so I wouldn't have been able to get out again. I invite you to look more closely. The safe is fitted with a handle. Oh! There you go. It's intended to blow this place to smithereens in any case. I just wasn't expecting uninvited guests to come along and screw up my plans. Do you mean to say you were planning to blow us all up? No, that was unforeseen. What do you mean? Most people run, you see, when they see a ticking time bomb at their feet. Yeah, they see a bomb, they run. For retreat to a safe distance, I set the device accordingly. But you seemingly endless discourse in here through a spanner in the works. In short, his deduction thing through a spanner. Is something wrong, Gregson? Do I have something on my face besides the usual eyes, ears, nose, and mouth? I think we have a fairly good idea what's going on here now, but what about the two incidents you've evidently been involved in recently? The instantaneous kinesis experiment, the Great Exhibition, and the waxwork model you stole. Well, it should make sense. He has an implication for the head because he was the one who found the scene before. So, what's this? That's the head of the professor. Clad in a mask with a lock so strong, I'm unable to open it safely to reveal the killer's identity. I've been considering carrying it around as protection, after all. That's enough! Oh! Hello, lady. There's sole jurisdiction to the investigation here. Yes, well, Dr. Scythe again. You know full well this engineer is a key witness. Why are you allowing this lawyer access to him? This, you'd be finished. You lot leave at once. My dear madam, there's no need for such a threatening tone, I assure you. After all, that's no way to greet an old acquaintance, is it? What? They know each other? Protecting the machine next door is causing such a sore expression in his face, you're quite misguided. It's really nothing more than a shell. Get out! But of course, we'll show ourselves the door. I see you haven't softened at all. Naruhodo, it would appear that our delightful, entertaining investigations have run their course for today. Shit! Hands. I said get out. Now. All of you. The smile on her face. It was not required either, Gregson. Understood. Say one thing before I head off. If it wasn't for this lawyer and his companions, we'd never have found this place, and the whole workshop would have been blown to bits. Saying here that this lot disarmed. Inspector! Gregson! Coo. Something giving you a chuckle, has it, Drubber? Ah, so sorry, didn't mean to offend. You're quite right, of course. You did disarm the time bomb, didn't you? That one? there's another one! No! Shit! So we heard the news. The enormous explosion that ripped through the experimental stage at the Great Exhibition. Professor Harebrain's invention and all of its secrets were blown away forever. I'll give him credit. Yeah, he's an asshole. A fucking clever one. He was aiming to clear the exact route. Yeah, it's true. Unless they somehow got away in time or somehow got missed. I say let's go for a little longer. I want to see where this starts. One to Mr. Naruhodo. Good morning, Professor. Ready for today's proceedings? I hope so. I should be. Even I with nothing left to... Sholmes! Well, you actually turned up on time. Why, naturally, a true gentleman stands shoulder to shoulder with his friends in battle at all times. Oh. See you later, then. We really need to remain calm in the quorum today. Enter the witness stand uninvited again. Yes, I will. I realize it was a mistake, but my dear fellows, I must interject. Sholmes, what's the matter? Surely you've overlooked some praise, have you not, to be cast in my direction? Sorry, I don't follow. Must I spell it out? I, the great Hairlock Sholmes, the great Egyptian word commission. Oh, to be here now, first thing in the morning, a miracle you must have... Well, if I must agree, then... As you know, my sleep is quite impregnable. I was to employ a full gamut of tactics. The covers all shook me, poked both cheeks, punched me, and kicked me from the bed. Boiling cup! Oh, your face should be a mess! His face should be a mess! He's too nice. The spirit of a fellow scientist, one who relishes in for possibility of blending tea. I'm the one worthy of praise here, not Iris. This is my victory! Oh, cut it. Gregson! Inspector Gregson, good morning. Gregson, my dear fellow. I got a bad feeling about this. Oh, I don't know. Maybe because I've been confronted with a grimmer expression, eh? You going to take that insult lying down, Professor? What? I don't know! Oh, Professor. Anyway, here's the paperwork you asked for. What paperwork? Ah, I took the liberty of requesting it yesterday, feeling it may prove useful. What is it? You wouldn't believe the hoops I had to jump through to get this brought out of the archives. The professors! The professors? Why his? He was found guilty in a close trial 10 years ago now. It was all done under wraps. He was quickly executed soon after the trial. Linear. I don't know what to say. Let's have a look. Jesus, that's it. Condemned prisoner, redacted for confidentially, pseudonym the professor, death by hanging confirmed at midnight, the 17th of June. Courtney Stevens. What a surprise. Courtney Stevens. Not Scythe. Must have been another one. Yeah. Us lowly lot of the yard are just doing what we can in the shadow of the great detective shows of... What? Gregson? What was that all about? I suppose he'll be in there today, will he? Drebber. Spent the prosecution summoned him as a witness. Yeah, true. So I think we might know what may have happened. I've lost all that. There we go. Here we go. Final chapter. Actually, this strange foreboding, as if something's going to happen in this trial that I'm not ready for. Distract me from the only thing that really matters. Finding the truth. Oh, we're gonna see our masked figure. Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session again. I resume the public hearing of Albert Airbrain, present, who stands accused of murder. Are the counsels for prosecution and defense ready to proceed? There we go. Who's ready, my lord? Who's ready, my lord? Let's apprentice with him. Apprentice remember us. But is that Kazuma? Lord Ransack? Yes, my lord. There appears to be someone standing at your side. Oh yes, I guess an assistant. No say to this case rise. Oh! What?! What? Wait, what? And the smooth running of refreshments. Yeah. That has to be Kazuma. That is Kazuma. So what the fuck? Secure the engineer disappeared from the scene of the day? Yes, my lord. I intend to call him as a witness shortly. May have been chosen at random. Is this the same lot? Yep, it's the same lot as before. I do so despise deception and deceit. I find it so weary. Life with a conjuring trick is against the magician's code, not to mention the law. Anything scientists should feel the wrath of God, if you ask me. We have to listen to what's said on both sides of the fence. And, then we'll settle on one, that's it, right? Wasn't like this in my day. Wasn't like this at all. There is a report I must read to the court. The exhibition grounds the evidence of prime importance in this case. There we go. Mentioned stage. Destroyed an explosion affected by the unknown person or persons. It was what? Explosion? An outrage! Looks like it, Del. So what the Wait. Huh. Godot! I think we got Godot! I have here a photographic print of the scene taken in the wake. Yeah, hi Godot. Well, that's how it looks now, huh? Business. Ugh. Destroy the evidence, did he? Trevor. There's evidence. Yep, there we go. Late yesterday afternoon, the protection afforded to the machine by the Special Scientific Act was revoked. However, before a thorough investigation could begin, the invention was obliterated from existence. As such, this will become a very different trial. Uh-oh. As it stands now, with no evidence to draw meaningful conclusions, the authenticity of the case machine will remain forever in obscurity. However, one thing remains. Death was the result of the actions of the accused. Oh no. Well,
Objection.
Here we go again. A very different trial now. What? He's used expert for his part in the events that inspired. So Asma died as a result of the machine's malfunction. However, unbeknownst to the professor, has been deliberately deceived by a pair of very clever fraudsters. Names, counsel, if you please. The engineer, Mr. Enoch Drebber, and the victim himself, Mr. O.D. Assman. So what exactly were these two men up to behind the defendant's back? The defense intends to expose the information thus establishing the unequivocal innocence of my defendant. Thank you, counsels. The positions of the prosecution and defense have been clearly stated. Lord Weinstein, summon your first witness, please. At once, my lord. Calls the engine. Oh, we're going right for Enoch. There he is. Occupation for the court. Name Enoch Drebber. Occupation. Hard to pin down, I would say. There we go. Your file indicates that you are currently being investigated in connection with another case. The theft of a waxwork model, is it? A most extraordinary sounding business. But that has no bearing on this trial, I assure you. Leave it from your mind. Familiar with the public experiment carried out at the Great Exhibition. Okay. The accused super high voltage instantaneous kinesis demonstration. Yes, you could say that. I'm aware of it. There was a terrible accident, wasn't there? It was you, Mr. Drebber, who constructed the vast machine used in the experiment. And so our investigations indicate. Can you confirm your involvement? Yes, I constructed it in precise accordance with the blueprints, but that's all. And the court would be very interested to hear your thoughts about the machine, I'm sure. Oh, I see what he's implying. He's trying to say he built it based on him. The science making instantaneous kinesis a reality at last. Oh, I'm so glad you liked it. What? Oh, gracious! Do you mean to say that the experiment was bona fide? Is that your belief, sir? Yes, that is very much my belief. Such a waste that it blew up.
Objection.
We established the machine was nothing more than a proper conjuring trick.
Objection.
Oh, there it is. Nothing of the sort. All that was shown during yesterday's proceedings, the same outcome could have been produced by the means of stage trickery. The defense merely proposed a method and demonstrated its feasibility, nothing more. Fuck! Procrastinated long enough, I feel. Witness, you will now give your formal testimony about the machine that you constructed for the purpose of the demonstration of the Great Exhibition. Understood. Yeah, I do like the arm, actually. Okay, well, yeah. I met the young professor approximately 1 year ago through Mr. Asman's introduction. He provided me with the blueprints and I constructed the machine to his precise specifications. It was no trick. If the whole show was a fraud, it would have required a body double. Tell me, did the victim have a twin? All the spectators saw the birdcage appear over their heads and the crash headfirst into the crystal tower. A terrible accident, I grant you. Perhaps the science on which the machine was built was flawed somehow? Moved when in reality it hasn't. It's a basic conjuring principle. The deception cannot be achieved without substitution, and the original was a fake at some point in the performance. But would I be right in saying you haven't managed to establish anything along those lines? Fuck! Incidentally, the prosecution... Well, confirm that one. Wondering awfulness. But such talents do not indicate that he was actually able to accomplish what he claims. Namely, the construction of what by all accounts must have been an extraordinarily complex scientific machine. Whatever do you mean? Yesterday's proceedings brought the true nature of your past exploits to light, Mr. Drebber. Indeed, my lord, as a swindler who preys on innocent scientists to elicit government grant money through a conjuring know-how. Yes, it's true. I possess considerable knowledge of stage magic. But crucially, my scientific knowledge more than matches that of any academic in the field. Investigation of witness workshop attests to that claim, my lord. As evidence, the police found this Royal Society trophy for young talent in science there. If a hypothesis is sound, it can always be forged into a physical manifestation with sufficient skill. Though I may have sold the secrets of some deceptive wiles to sniveling, talentless scientists in the past. Fuck! An unfortunate accident, or, of course, a deliberate act of murder carried out by misuse of the science. We know he did it. We know he did it. We know he did it. Alright. Met the young professor approximately 1 year ago through his task introductions.
Hold it!
Let's get our info. Yeah, he kinda does. We've had him before. Mama's boy villain. Wait, you mean... So? Not really by chance. I'd seen his name mentioned in the papers, that's all. I had no interest in his private affairs. If he was an unscrupulous investor, it was no concern of mine. As long as people pay their bills, I take up my tools and can struggle there. So, Diabolus means who was willing to forge things for money. Now I'm getting Apollo Justice vibes! Why did Asman approach you in particular? Who can say? I presume because my name is associated with excellence in engineering. Not to mention excellence in fraud. Hard to gauge, but the point is, all I did was construct the machine according to the blueprints I was given. In other words, the kinesis machine was built on solid scientific principles. Do we even have those? We do not. Just checking we didn't get the blueprints. By no other. As I constructed the machine to its precise specifications, it was no trick.
Hold it!
I kind of like it when he goes for the smirk. It makes me feel like he's not robotic style, he just goes for his true nature. The more knowledge you have, the better equipped you are to handle whatever comes along. But your implication is that I furnished the machine with some trickery, I think. It's a possibility that we have to explore. Unfortunately, though, the machine has been blown to Kingdom Come. So there's really nothing left to explore, is there? It appears that the kinesis machine was fitted with a timed explosive device of some kind. And there's nothing left of that device either. Not a single shred of evidence remaining, I hear. He must have planned all this from the outset. But in any case, it's abundantly clear that the experiment couldn't have been a trick. If the whole show was a fraud, it would have required a body double. Tell me, did the victim have a twin?
Hold it! Objection!
You just specified this, Naruhodo. Friend wasn't listening earlier. Mr. Asmund had no twin siblings. No, I heard you before. The thread of hope hadn't quite left me. Demonstration could have been a trick if there was somebody who looked sufficiently like the victim. Dr. Seif absolutely ruled that one as a possibility. It's beyond question that the victim himself, Mr. Asmund, did not move from the stage to the Crystal Tower. It's found at the scene attests to the fact. So it can't have been orchestrated using someone who looked identical. Fuck! Oh? No, nothing. Just the idea of someone who looked identical to the victim is playing on my mind. All the spectators saw the birdcage appear above their heads and the crash headfirst into the Crystal Tower.
Hold it!
Crashed headfirst, you say? According to the many witness reports from those there at the time, yes. Were you not there at the exhibition grounds on the day? Unlikely. I rarely leave my workshop. Yet another opportunity of conventions was found at the scene. Well, it was the unveiling of a machine I'd labored over for many months. I saw it clearly with my own eyes, the birdcage plummeting headfirst into the tower. What a surprise. I believe the victim's neck was broken from the headlong fall, wasn't it? How'd you come by that information? Even an infernal recluse like me reads the newspapers, you know. According to the reports, 2 injuries were apparent on the victim's body. Yes, stabbed in the chest by a screwdriver believed to belong to the defendant, and he had broken vertebrae as a result of the fall of considerable height. Correct. My learned friend has been doing his research, it seems. Do we know which injury was the fatal one? Sadly not. Forensic science is not at a level where such things can be determined. Poop! What we do know is that the victim died having sustained both injuries at some point during the experiment. Since he was found in the birdcage with his neck broken, it's obvious that he fell from considerable height. A terrible accident, I grant you. Perhaps the science on which the machine was built was flawed somehow.
Hold it!
Studied the science, did you? Not in the slightest. Oh, right. As I said a number of times, I'm an engineer. My job is to manufacture according to the blueprints I'm given. It would be inviting manifold problems if I foolishly allowed my brain to digest the ideas behind them. I could be accused of stealing those ideas, for example. Also constructing a machine without really understanding the principles it relies on. Well, you're practicing law without really understanding the principles it relies on, aren't you? Very good point. Stand up for yourself, Mr. Nerd. The point is, the experiment resulted in instantaneous kinesis taking place. As such, the science must be sound. Yes, and really, experimental results are all that matters when it comes to proving a hypothesis. Oh, there's a problem here. Well, now that the machine has been completely destroyed by yesterday's explosion, it's going to be impossible to argue its authenticity one way or another. It's a piece of stage trickery rather than genuine science. No grounds on which to demonstrate Professor Harebrain's innocence. Aspen and this man understand tricked the professor and used him. They took advantage of his naivete and his unbending belief in his work. We'll get away with it. So as an old friend of Lord Van Sykes, what on earth must he be feeling towards Drebber? Is there a part? Alright, so what have we got? Wait a minute! No. Head first. It crashed head first. Why is the hole on the bottom? If it crashed head first onto the tower bit, wouldn't the top of it be broken instead?
Objection.
Thank you. I'm not too dumb. So you can see the cage, which is a wooden construction, has sustained damage in one particular spot. Following an explosion, it fell some 30 feet into the glass of the crystal tower. Damage to be expected, surely. I agree, the damage itself is entirely understandable. What doesn't make sense is the location of that damage. Well, this is a plus. There's a working at the top. What are you saying? It's the opposite of where they should be. That's right, my lord. Notice in a shot, one's a plus, one's a minus. Oh, I'll have to look at that. Also, the birdcage falling headlong into the crystal tower, yet the damage is at the bottom. The only way to reconcile those two facts is to accept that there were two birdcages in play that day, which were at some point switched. Switched during what was a scientific experiment and all, but another piece of stage trickery. Yeah. What was that reaction? He went, "Gah," and the "gah" was orange and white. Well. Got him. Damage on the base of the birdcage indicates that it crashed tail first into the tower.
Objection.
No. This is the time it fell head first. The birdcage materialized in the sky next to a balloon flying over the stage following a spontaneous explosion. Feet above ground level, which is approximately 18 meters. Then proceeded to fall some 30 feet into the crystal tower into a delegation. Amid such chaos and notoriously unreliable.
Objection.
I'm struggling to keep my eyes open. I've barely got any sleep. If he fell, it would be unsurprising to find one or two of his vertebrae crushed. Oh, you are right. Good. Our riveting scientific analysis of events from the persecution there. For more rigorous, you would have to say it was only one vertebra, actually. Quite for long. You know what? I'm actually struggling to keep my eyes open. If it's alright with you guys, I think at this point, I think we're gonna wrap it up because I can barely keep my damn eyes open. So I think I'm gonna head myself off, if that's alright, guys. Right. Anyway, with it being said, everyone, that is where we're going to wrap things tonight. And hopefully, this Sunday, we'll get to the bottom of it. So, what dangers are going to be awaiting us when we go through all of this? Will we be able to figure out on how to connect this guy to the whole thing? Is he the true culprit? What was the point about Kazuma supposedly being here? And what's the deal with the fucking mask? Well, maybe we'll get some answers. Or maybe we'll just be left high and dry. Well, either way, you'll have to tune in next time to find out. So until then, everyone, I will see you on Sunday when we'll continue this. But until then, if you were charged with joy with this stream, be sure and hit subscribe or follow wherever you're watching us. and I will see you all on the next expedition. Tune in tomorrow. Kotlol should be doing D&D, I believe, if I remember his days correctly, or it may be his stream day. Either way, it should be Kotlol's time. But until then, everyone, I will see you all on Sunday and Monday. So until then, everyone, this is Brownie of the Joy Charge Gamers, signing off on Let's Play Live, The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles 2, Resolve. Until then, everyone, stay charged, catch you all later, and to all, goodbye.